live. This is the 4th episode, and today we got special guest the Sands of Ahura in the studio today. So where are you guys from?
Kind of all over.
Yeah. Easton, Connecticut, New Haven.
Yeah, West Haven, everywhere.
Shelton.
Cool, and how long have you guys been together?
With the current lineup, we've only been together for about a year now. With the inclusion of Chris. But the whole band itself will be going on 2 years as of August.
Alright, cool. Have you guys been on any tours or anything? Or
Not yet.
Or what's the furthest that you traveled for a show?
Hartford.
I think so, yeah.
Here.
Here. I've only played one show with y'all.
If you want to introduce each member of the band and maybe how long you've been playing.
Well, I'm Chris, better known as DZ to everyone.
DZ.
And I play guitar. I've been playing for about 8 years.
I'm Alex. I've originally been in the band beforehand. I quit after that, and then I just rejoined a couple months ago. So I guess it's been a while.
I'm Jerry, and I met this kid at a party in Bridgeport, and I was just starting to play drums about
BPT?
a year. Was it a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
It was about a year and a half ago, and I just got a drum set, and I was just like, I'm looking for a band, and he was like, well, I'm looking for a drummer. So it just started off like that. So, but they had already previously been a band, and then I'd come in to fill the spot.
Yeah.
At that time.
Mark, Alex, and I were original members.
So as he said, I'm Mark. I do vocals. I've been in the band from the inception, and been in music for probably like 20 years.
I'm Chris. I play bass. I've only been playing bass in this band for, I don't know, a couple months now, but I've played in bands with Mark for well over a decade, and I've been playing bass for about 16 years, so.
Cool. And when you guys first started out, like, what were your greatest influences?
I mean, yeah, there's bands that we like. We're all various fans of like Parkway Drive, August Burns Red, Chiodos, Under Oath, everything in between.
Hall Notes.
Yeah, Hall Notes. I mean, as much as we've taken things from each of them, over the years, and those have been bands that we listened to. We're still looking to do our own sound, do our own way of doing it, and kind of leave our own mark to, in the industry.
If you had to open for a band, like if you had your own choice, what would your dream band to open for be?
Obviously, August Burns Red.
There you go. Yeah. So that's 2 out of the 5. I mean, I wouldn't mind opening them for them either. I've opened for in previous bands for some pretty big names, but I don't know. I probably as far as bands in our genre, I mean, I wouldn't mind opening up for bands like As I Lay Dying. As far as the metal side, I don't know really who I'd say for probably the hardcore side. I mean, August Burns Red's a good example. It's closer to our vein.
For me, probably Devil Wears Prada.
What do you got?
I'd like to open for this band Cynic. That's like a little progressive metal band that's been around for a while. Florida. A good band.
Well, and then opening for this band, what would be your dream venue, playing?
We'll go with the Garden.
Yeah, right?
We'll go big or go home.
Where else is there?
The name of your band, where did you get it from? Or what does it mean? What's the meaning behind it?
I'm a really big gamer. Many people know that. A few of our songs even have some game influences. I pretty much, I was at the time, and I've always been a big fan of the Prince of Persia trilogies and games, and pretty much the name kind of takes off from that. In one of the games, the Ahura was the tribe that was in charge of warding off the evil spirit, evil god. So the Sands, which obviously has been a big integral thing in the whole game, and kind of a play on the words with it. So taken basically from the video game.
Let's see. What are some of the challenges that you faced? I know you've all been in the music industry for a while, but what were some of the challenges that you face now with getting out there?
Getting shows, not so much a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shows that are going on. It's just
It's kind of our own availability.
No, not even that.
Sometimes.
It's more of support. I mean, back when we were in high school, since we're probably the 2 oldest people in this band, and most of them were probably still in middle school when we were in high school or younger. I mean, when we were in high school, I mean, you went to a show and 60 of your friends from school came out, supported you, build up fans quickly. I mean, I was in a band that we were bringing 60 people plus every show, and we'd play the same venue twice a month. and it'd be the same people coming out. Nowadays, you're lucky if you get those people to show out once 6 months. I mean, it's hard with the way the scene's going. You know, a lot of people say support the scene, but you don't really see a lot of people actually backing that up. And that's pretty much the hardest thing right now of taking off and getting going is getting people to be consistently popping up at shows. It's just, it's like pulling teeth, as they say.
Do you guys have any albums, or are you working on recording anything?
He pretty much finished
With the demo.
Yeah,
First,
with the demo.
we have a single that we're going to be launching for our song called "The Ties That Bind Us."
Okay.
So right now, that's pretty much getting done.
In other words, holy fuck.
Yeah, insider name for the band for that song. But we're working on some recordings. We're going to be hopefully releasing probably a 5 to 6 song EP demo. We're hoping to have done probably, if not by the end of this year, probably going into end of winter, early spring next year.
All right, cool. Out of all the songs that you've written or played, like what do you think, or like what is your favorite song, and like what are the fans' favorite songs?
DZ, what's your favorite?
Yeah.
DZ, what's your favorite?
Touche Reclaimer.
Yo, what about you?
I don't even know. I'm in between the.
I'm even curious to hear this.
I'm in between Holy Fuck and this other song, Outer Heaven.
Yeah.
Well, Touche Reclaimer is my favorite.
I'm going to go against the grain of everybody, and I'm actually going to throw in Dance in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, that's my favorite, Mark. That's the first one I learned.
So we're all
There
over
you
the
go.
place. We like a lot of the
I
songs.
love
we're
how the
playing now.
last song in this is not even mentioned.
But no, don't get me wrong. I like that song too.
Yeah.
Kiss and Tell is another probably one of my favorites.
Ultra heavy.
I mean, I kind of like all of them. They all have different elements. They all kind of keep within the same boundary of being heavy, but having some melodic roots here and there. And I mean, you take what you want from each one. I mean, I like parts of every one of our songs that we're currently running in our set. And since we're working on new stuff, I mean, we got a bunch of different songs in the back line that we're going to be working on getting ready to launch with the new set when we start playing more shows. And hopefully working on new stuff for the next album as well, beyond the stuff we're already recording.
All right, and then like, difference between your new songs and your older ones.
Besides this evening.
Alex?
There's a big difference in heaviness, and like especially when we first started out, it's more like I don't even know. It's like more melodic when we very first started out. But as time went on, and when we all started writing, it got progressively heavier, more melodic, stuff like that. We throw a lot into the mix, into the set.
A lot more intricate.
Yeah, the technicalities changed up a little bit.
Our original set was a lot softer than we're playing now.
Yeah.
Everything's become a lot more dynamic.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to say it.
All right, maybe you could share each member what your favorite show has been with the band.
I would have to say my favorite venue, only because it was the biggest one we played so far, is Toad's Place. Not necessarily the biggest, because when we played Webster, it was our old set, and we did have our old members, but Toad's was the most fun for me, I think.
I personally like the Webster. The underground is a lot of fun to play.
I would say, well, it's not really exactly my favorite, but the only one that stands out to me is the show at Toad's Place. More because I like their sound and how we sounded, so I liked it. It was pretty cool there. Not much people.
Ditto.
Honestly, I'd probably stick with Toads as well. I mean, we probably had the most movement during the show that we played there. The rest of the bands that played, there was I think, like 13 bands that played that show with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we had probably the biggest crowd that went on, and also the most movement. So it was really nice to see that response, people getting involved. A few people that we knew that knew our stuff that came out to the show kind of trying to sing along in the pit that opened.
And I've only played one show, but I've seen a handful of shows of theirs, and I would say the Toads Play show, just as they've all been elaborating on, they sounded the best, and it was pretty good. So even though I didn't play it.
Yeah, like what's the genre of the band?
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint it, really.
It's kind of a blend of everything from metalcore through standard hardcore, post-hardcore. I mean, it's kind of like a mix of those things. I mean, it's like if you took like like the bands like we were mentioning before, like August Burns Red, Devil Wears Prada, Parkway Drive, and maybe even the Little Chiodos, took them all, merged, and had a baby with them, and then slapped it around a little bit. That's pretty much where we're at.
Like, what's a like popular venue that you play at all the time? Like your hometown venues?
Like practice shows almost.
The main venue we probably have been playing at, just because of the availability of shows and the trend of metal shows that they put on, has probably been at the ATC on Woodbridge. We've probably played more shows there than anywhere. And then as far as online, I mean, we're up on Facebook, Reverb Nation. Haven't gotten around to the new MySpace yet, but I know we're at least on those two. We're on Band Page, a bunch of other ones. I don't even know. The easiest one to find us on is Facebook.
Yeah.
It's facebook.com/The Sands of Ahura. You can find us up on there. We'll be
AHURA.
releasing the new single on there. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of shows, we started a new segment called Live on the Live, and I'm going to introduce Eli. And Eli has gone around, and what he does is he goes out in the field and interviews bands that can't come on the show because they're too big or they're just not available. So he has some questions here.
How's it going, guys?
So,
So I run the Live on the Live segment. We interview like bands that are playing at live shows. We get their live performances because you get a totally different energy when you're at a live show. I mean, in here you can get amazing sound. Sometimes at a live show, if you can't get access to the recordings of the actual show, kind of shitty quality, but it's a different feel. You get what it's like to actually be at a concert. Seeing you here, you get that good sound, but sometimes, as you said, the mosh pits that you see, the pits that open up, the way the fans sing along, it gives that just feel of epicness. So one thing I always like to know is, when are you guys playing shows? When and where? Like, any upcoming shows?
Not really.
Well, right now, we're actually we kind of decided to take a slight break from shows, basically because we wanted to start writing again. It's kind of as many bands that are touring know, you have that time where you need to kind of just hunker down, stop doing a tour, to stop playing some shows, to really kind of just get back in the studio, get to work on writing, and start laying out the groundwork for like the next album. We've been pretty much cycling the same like 8 or 9 songs now for the last year and change. So we kind of want to get back to getting into the studio, working on new material. We haven't had any shows that have really come up. We had a few offers, that we ended up passing on just because it was just right after we decided to take our break. We do have some things in the loop, but the easiest way to find that out is to check out our Facebook, because we always announce our shows, send out the event invites on there. So you guys like us on there, you'll get the invites and stuff like that.
Alright, well, like them on Facebook. Check them out on this episode of The Live. They might not have any upcoming shows, but you guys have an album coming out that you're working on. So when that comes out, check that out. I'm guessing there will be shows after that.
Definitely.
And the sound of what you said, Toad's Place, sounds like an epic show. I'd check them out, like them on Facebook, and we're going to have them playing in just a sec.